let's talk about the truth on why men cheat. What really drives a man to be unfaithful? That's what we're talking about today. In this live, we'll call it Infidelity Uncovered, we will dissect the 10 reasons why husbands cheat. We're going to analyze the psychology behind cheating and why this is happening. What makes a husband cross the line? Well, many of my clients will ask because they want to know why. Because when we know why, we can then figure out how to solve it. We know why something is broken. Why is the sink broken? Well, somebody turned it on too hard and it broke. Okay, now we can fix it, right? So we want to know why. So clients will ask me, like, is the reason he cheated, is it about me or is it about him? Was it a mistake that he did this or was it his choice? Is our marriage broken or is it something that has to do with him? So I'm Beth Miller. I am a marriage coach. I am trained as a certified hypnotist, and I am the founder of the Marriage Saver method. It's a proven method that works with neuroscience and psychology. And I want to thank everyone that's here that's from our Facebook group. If you're not in our Facebook group, click one of the links below this and you can join. And those on YouTube, just like, subscribe, and so that you can keep on getting these notifications. So if at the end of this you want to dig deeper into your own marriage struggles, feel free to send us a comment or a DM, and we would gladly set up a quick 15-minute call and give you some resources on how to overcome your biggest struggle. So let's get back into this. I've been asked so many times this question of, like, why did my husband cheat? And so let me tell you a little bit of a story. This is one that, like, millions of times some women say, why did he cheat? A lot of women are replaying the scene over and over in their head, the scenes, the events leading up to it, the months, the days ahead of the time, going over and over in their mind, hoping somehow they'll get an answer as to why this happened. Women, they want closure. We want closure. If we understand why, we can then have that, like I said, understanding, some sort of explanation that makes it all make sense, that makes it all make sense, that we can make sense of the hurt, the betrayal, the confusion. But here's the truth. Before you ask him why, you have to ask yourself, why do I need to know why? Why is it that you need to know? Is it because you want peace of mind? Is it because you think knowing will finally make the hurt stop? Is it because you're hoping that by knowing the why, that you can heal the wounds and somehow make it okay? The hard reality is, we will get into the reasons why, but the hard reality is the answer of why may never actually give you peace. And searching for it may not make you better. And he might not even know why. That's the crazy thing. And if he does know why, you might not even believe the answer. So when we know why, we do have a sense of control and that we can prevent it from happening again. So let's figure out why. Why does he do it? And then will this actually help you? So let's get right into the 10 reasons. So we'll pause on, do you need to know why? And instead we'll dive right into this. And before I talk about the 10 reasons why men cheat, I really want to make sure that there's no excuses for cheating. I'm just laying it out there. No excuses ever. Communication is key to really making sure this stuff doesn't happen. So with that said, there's no order to these 10 reasons, but I'm going to go right into it. The first one could be emotional disconnection, and that could be disconnection with himself, disconnection with his wife. He feels unseen, he feels unheard, but he might not be seeing himself. That's the other thing too. He may not really be looking into himself. So why? Men who feel emotionally disconnected from their wives and from themselves may seek someone who listens to them, appreciates them, and fulfills emotional needs. And so many wives are like, if you would just come to me, open your heart up to me, I would be here to console you. So they go somewhere else because maybe it's easy, maybe it's neutral, maybe it doesn't come with any resentment, but they go elsewhere to get that connection. And so a husband feels like maybe he's constantly criticized at home, he's not getting positive reinforcement. So what happens is a female coworker could start complimenting him and engaging in deep conversations. And over time, he then forms that emotional bond, which can then lead to crossing the line with infidelity. Research states that there's studies out there that 48% of men cheat due to emotional dissatisfaction in the relationship, not physical. So 48% say it's emotional disconnection that leads to potentially physical. So it's not necessarily that a wife is not attractive. It's more that emotional connection, that validation they're getting. Number two reason men cheat is because there's a lack of appreciation. He feels taken granted for. Often wives feel taken granted for as well. Like, you're taking care of the house, you're working, you're taking care of the kids, you're doing so much, yet they feel like they're being taken for granted. Maybe both people are feeling taken for granted. And is it good to step outside the marriage? Absolutely not. It's good to have a conversation. So when a man feels like he's unnoticed, undervalued, like his efforts aren't appreciated, he may seek that validation elsewhere. So a husband who provides for his family may feel like his wife, like he provides for the family, like he might be providing a paycheck along with you as well. He might feel like a taxi driving the kids everywhere. He may feel like he's the cook, the fixer, and he may be drawn to another woman because she praises his hard work, makes him feel admired, encourages him even though she's not involved in the household duties of taking care of kids. She's not seeing the interactions. So research states that 44% of men who cheat, they do so because they feel underappreciated in the relationship. And as you can tell, like I said earlier, the stat was 48% of men cheat due to emotional dissatisfaction. These studies could check off multiple reasons why they cheated. And so the first one there, the 48% came from the Journal of Marriage and Family. Those are the sites. So if you need to know like where this stuff comes from, feel free to reach out. Number 3 reason that someone cheats is because a husband cheats is because he desires some excitement. There's like this adrenaline. He craves novelty or adventure. And it doesn't mean he needs someone new. It's exciting to go somewhere. Like if you're on a trip and you go somewhere new, it's exciting. Obviously you can't compare the two, but it's a similar rush that we get when we experience new things. So some men cheat because they feel bored in their marriage, and it's not that you're boring, it's just that things are mundane. They're seeking some sort of dopamine hit, seeking this outside excitement. So a man who's been married to his wife for 15, 20, 25, 30 years may start an affair with someone younger. Often they affair down. It's not the same social economic status because it makes them feel alive, spontaneous, youthful again. And often it's about the chase. It's not the catch. The catch can create guilt in them. Like when they find like they're having all these sexy conversations going back and forth, like imagery in their head, but then it actually happens, creates a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. They're disappointed in themselves, but it's the dopamine of the chase. There's an excitement there to having these conversations. So that came out of a study out of Montreal. Fourth reason men cheat is the opportunity. It just presents itself and they have lack of boundaries and willpower. So right place and wrong choice. So why some men cheat is simply because the opportunity presents itself and they haven't set personal boundaries with themselves. They may have set boundaries in their marriage saying, I will never do that, such as their vows, but then this presents itself. And so a married man may be on a business trip and has too many drinks at a hotel bar, flirts with a stranger, and then makes an impulsive decision to cheat. 74% of men said that they hadn't planned to cheat. 74% of men never went into it saying, you know what, I plan to cheat. And so that's from the Institute of Family Studies. Number 5, unresolved personal issues, trauma, pain, and this can be creating low self-esteem, low self-worth. So men cheat to prove their desirability. They might within feel like inadequate. So all of a sudden someone starts flirting with them, answering their questions, engaging with them. All of a sudden they're like, you know what, I am desirable. It like gives them a fake boost of self-esteem. And so that could be partly some childhood wounds, feeling like they weren't enough for their parents. They don't feel maybe enough in their marriage. Maybe they don't feel like they're making enough money. They're not a good enough father. And then all of a sudden they start getting some praise and it kind of feeds that part of the ego that's like, hey, I want to feel valuable. So a man who grew up with particularly a mother wound, emotionally distant mother, may subconsciously seek validation from women to fill that emotional void. And you're like, why won't he just come to me? Well, he did come to you, and now all of a sudden he's been running from maybe other areas within him that feel inadequate. And so he's just trying to can't compare this, but like when someone does drugs, they start with a little bit and then they need more and more. What they have in there isn't a Band-Aid on the wound. The wound gets bigger and they don't tend to it in a healthy way and they need more to cover it up. So that's why they sometimes seek out emotional connection and validation from other women. So studies have shown that men with particularly anxious attachment are more likely to cheat due to their own insecurities and fear of abandonment. And if you want to know more about attachment styles, there's anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and then there's also a disorganized one along with secure. Ultimately, we all want to be in a secure attachment. So if you want more information about that, send me a message. I can send you some videos on that. Number 6, I hear this all the time, midlife crisis. There could be this fear of aging, or they get to a place where they have this identity crisis. So like, who am I? How did I get here? Maybe it's a health scare, financial crisis. Something triggers them into this like loss of who they are, and they don't understand themselves. So men in midlife crisis often cheat to recapture their youth, or to like hide the dissatisfaction with where they are in their life. It's a form of escaping. So say a 50-year-old man starts an affair with a younger coworker because he feels maybe he's a bit irrelevant at home, or he's not as attractive. And this attention makes him feel younger, it makes him feel like he used to feel. So infidelity actually peaks at age 40 and in the 50s. So 40s and 50s is like the peak of most people cheating, most husbands cheating, and often linked to midlife crisis. So again, that's from the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. Some men cheat to get back at their wives. Like, so number 7 is revenge. I personally have never heard this. I've never had a client come to me that their husband was seeking out revenge or was resentment and wanted to pay back. Like, they intentionally do it. And as we mentioned earlier, I think it was, sorry, I'm just pulling that back up again. They're a massive men, I think it's 74%, right? I gotta look at that again. I think it's 74% of men, 74% of men said they never plan to cheat. And so obviously number 7 here, if they're doing this for revenge or resentment to pay back, that's on intention, and that's on purpose, right? That's with intention. So a man discovers his wife was maybe emotionally texting someone else, then they may address it by seeking revenge. So 15% of men who cheat say they do it on revenge or by revenge or with revenge. And I think that could be upwards of 25%. And that's from the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy. Okay, number 8, low self-control. So the impulsivity or weak willpower. And this one goes kind of in alignment with like wrong place, poor choice. And so some men cheat because they just lack discipline and moral strength. And you're kind of like, who is this person? I married this person because they had values, and they're not acting that way. So some men can't resist the temptation. A married man at a bachelor party. So a married man is at a bachelor party, may kiss a stranger after drinking too much, and he's unable to stop himself, even though he knows it's wrong. So like the value's down deep, but that urge, that adrenaline, whatever it might be, takes over. Men with high impulsivity, so behaviors of maybe, high impulsivity. I'm not going to go into much more detail. 40% more likely to cheat. And so that is the Association for Psychological Science. Number 9, we're getting near the 10th, addiction and impulses. So if they have addiction issues or impulsive behavior, like I mentioned earlier, alcohol, sex, thrill-seeking behaviors, they cheat because there's an adrenaline rush to it, right? So behaviors like sex addiction, alcohol abuse, or just that need for constant stimulation, almost like they're chasing something else, like they're not going within, they're not still with themselves, can lead to more cheating. So people with sex addictions are 3 times more likely to cheat, and that's from the Journal of Behavioral Addictions. So a man who frequently watches pornography may develop unrealistic expectations of kind of reality and sexual intimacy and emotional intimacy, and so they can seek out risky encounters to fulfill themselves. Again, it's about the thrill a lot of times, and once they catch it, it can cause a lot of guilt and shame. Number 10, this is a big one. He believes he won't get caught. A lot of men believe they won't get caught. They believe they won't get caught. That's how they justify the risk. Some men rationalize cheating by thinking they can keep it a secret, and their wife will never find out. So a man deletes messages, uses secret apps to try and cover up his tracks, because he's convinced himself that his wife will never find out. So 60% of men who cheat say they believe their wife would never find out. They believe they'd never get caught, 60%. So what are my final thoughts on these? So we have 10 reasons. Feel free to put in the chat below. Do you feel like what is the why you think? Why do you think your husband cheated? And cheating is typically never about one reason, never about just one off. It's a combination of like personal insecurities, kind of past stuff that's been going on, which has got them out of alignment with who they are. You met someone that was moral, had better behavior than this, and then all of a sudden the insecurities, past pains, past wounds has caught up. So it's often about personal insecurities, relationship dynamics, communication skills, and sometimes really external circumstances like health crisis, financial crisis. But the good news is you can heal from this. Both of you can heal from this, and particularly you can 100% heal from this with the right strategies in place. And you can become stronger than ever. I have so many couples, like I have some other YouTube videos you can watch, like my marriage is stronger than it was before. Like they needed to have the infidelity happen so that they felt better about about their marriage and about themselves. So Will asking the questions, Will asking why actually stop the pain? Ultimately, no. What you need is not an answer from him, but it's peace within yourself. So why do you want to know why? Is it because you want peace of mind? Is it because Yeah, why do you want to know why? Is it because you want us to be able to stop it from happening again? If that's the case, instead of obsessing over the why, what we need to do is take control of your happiness and your healing. And I say that because obsessing over your husband's infidelity is normal, but it's not healthy for you. You know you don't want to be doing this anymore. And if he gives you the answers, you may not even believe why. He may not even know his why. He may be in denial over his why. Like, I just did it. It was just something that happened. That might be what he's saying. So instead, ask yourself, what do I need to heal? What will I do to move forward and reclaim my power? So what do I need to do to heal? How do I reclaim my power? How can I start healing from the betrayal, no matter the reason behind it? How can I surrender the why? Do I really need to know the why? So it's your peace of mind that matters most. You want peace. You want to feel light. You want to be able to focus. You want to be the person you want to be. Often we've lost ourselves. You may have lost yourself. So when you choose to heal from inside, when you heal from the inside out, sometimes the external doesn't matter as much. And we take a very backwards approach. We work with neuroscience. So what we're doing is we're just getting right to the belief that's driving all these thoughts, the belief of, if I know why, I can prevent it from happening again. Just say that's the belief. And then all the thoughts of, why did you do this? Analyzing scenarios, stories in your head. And we think in stories, we talk in stories. So if we can change the belief, I don't need to know why, I surrender the why, I know that the answers will come as I need them. So if we can surrender the why, that'll change a ton of the thoughts. Just think about how many thoughts you have per day about, why do you do this? Why did this happen? How did this happen to us? If we can surrender that, you'll have a lot less thoughts. So what we want to do is use neuroscience to go in and really start rewiring the brain. So you know what? You don't have that thought of, I need to know why. I need to know why so it doesn't happen again. So we use a lot of hypnosis techniques rooted in getting really deeply relaxed. We have hypnotherapy sessions. We have a 12-week program that's about how to save your marriage, the Marriage Saver Method. That includes daily support, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're your best friends on speed dial. You get a dedicated coach that's with you for those 12 weeks. 2 coaches that are dedicated for those 2 weeks that you can ask questions, you can tell them your triggers, you can tell them their feelings, and that's how we rewire the brain. We can't go more than a week. We can't go more than like 3 days, 2 days ideally, without talking to a client, because we don't want you to fall back into old thinking patterns. We need to stay on top of it. We're not willpowering you into change. We're getting you deeply relaxed and going into the pain points, releasing them, say, chapter closed, that's in the past, I'm focusing on now. I don't need to know why. Or if I do, I might ask questions, but I'm not connected to his answer. I'm just curious. And it doesn't influence you either way what his answer is, or if he doesn't have an answer. All right, so with that said, if you're ready to take those first steps towards healing, we can guide you. We can put a link below, or send us a reply just saying, hey, I would love to jump on a 15-minute call and just, get some strategies. And that's all it is. It's all about you. We're like, here's some more resources to help you navigate not being able to trust, improving communication, the ruminating thoughts. So with that said, thank you everyone, and reach out if you need anything. We're here for you. Talk to you soon. Bye.